Hi, it's Jerry. We get a lot of questions about YouTube and being a YouTube creator. And the question that always comes up is, can I make a living off of YouTube? Well, I guess the best way to answer that is maybe. Let me share with you about I Love RV Life. So I Love RV Life in just a couple weeks will be 7 years old as far as our constant content. We actually started it about 9 years ago. It started as really kind of a help. We started, in 2014 traveling. We didn't start putting videos up, officially until 2017. And people would go, how do you do something? And I go, oh, here, let me put a video together for you and I'll share that with you. So it might be 3 videos a year, something like that. Then in 2017, we were starting a 3,500 mile trip. We were going to be gone for about 3 or 4 months. And our adult children said, Dad, you create videos for people for a living with your business, and how about documenting your travels? So that's exactly what we did. We started that documentation process, and in that documentation process, I never really intended for those videos to be, really part of an I Love RV Life channel. It didn't even have a name as of yet. And we did 5 videos in 6 weeks, and at the end of 6 weeks we had 100 subscribers. And I looked at Joan, and we were filming these, just kind of as a conversation to our kids, filming them with a cell phone, and I wasn't even being careful with it. I was just doing shots, and I said, maybe I ought to take this seriously. People are interested. Let's see what we can do. It took us a year to get our first 1,000 subscribers, a little over a year. And that was, producing a video every single week. And that getting into that mode was a little bit of work. We first started that this was just purely going to be a travel channel, nothing more. And then more and more that we put up in that first year, people came to us and went, oh, I see that you're using such and such thing on your channel. Would you describe what that is? So the things that we bought, we started sharing the products that we were using. Here's this thing, here's how we use it. Hope you find it helpful. So we started doing that, and then people started asking us about travel tips. How do you map your travels? How do you do this? How do you do that? My blinds don't work anymore. So we started doing, tips. So we listened to our subscribers. So it was travels, products, and tips on RV travel. And that's kind of the vein that we've been in ever since then. We still have a home. I'm actually shooting this in our home office today. We're not going to be traveling for another week. And as a result of that, we have a home, and, we were in our our RV sometimes, 4 months out of the year, 5 months out of the year, and we even did an 8-month, that I'll talk about that a little bit further as we go along. So that was the nature of the channel, travel tips and then products that we use. Now, what do we make off of YouTube? This is going to be, I think, a surprise for many folks. So your paid per view is the best way to look at this. I don't care how many commercials that you might put into a video, one at the beginning, one at the end. Let's say you've got 30 minutes of content, you put 1 or 2 in the middle. People can skip through those. There's just a lot of things that can happen with that specific video, and it also depends on what the people who place those ads for bid and what's going to be shared with you. But on an average, when we look at what we make on a video, we make 0.009 cents per view. So think about that. Not even a penny a view is what we make. And that's kind of what goes with the industry. Most people don't make much more than a penny per view. There might be other instances where things have been negotiated differently, but that's what you make. So we never went into YouTube for this to be something for us as a living. As the channel, as we started buying products, and as to be able to show, as we started buying cameras, paying for campgrounds, diesel, those types of things, we needed to be able to supplement our income, even if we hoped that we could break even doing that, which is not the case. We're gracious to be able to find viewers who wanted to watch our content, would bear through the commercials, and we would pay less than 1 cent. So when you look at one of my videos and you see, oh, they've got 1,000 they've had 1,000 views, over the last month, or 2,000 views. So on 1,000 views, we barely make, $10 off of that view. So when you look at that from a monthly basis, that's not a whole lot of income that can be made. Sure, there are those people out there that have 3 and 4 and 5 million subscribers. They have whole teams creating content. But when you look at most of the YouTubers out there, very few have much less than 10,000 subscribers, and there's only a handful that probably have in the 100 to 250,000 subscribers. And a subscriber doesn't make you one penny, not a single penny. It's all based on views. So that's really, really important, be able to create content. Now, the other thing to be able to look at is what we did to try to drive views on our channel. So in 2022, last year, we decided, hey, let's see if we can hit the 100,000 subscriber mark. We didn't do it. So we spent 8 months out on the road just filming everything. We started in January at the Florida Super Show. We did 6 shows in 5 days. And then we traveled. We did tons and tons of travel. We did pick up subscribers during that period. But we have just barely got to the 45,000 subscriber mark. That's after 7 years. Think about that. After 7 years, we're only at 45,000 subscribers. We understand our content only matches the demographic, the way we look. There's our age demographic, and this is what we appeal to, and we understand that. And that's the reason we've created the content that we have. But 45,000 subscribers. And then you have to look at the amount of views that we have from that period of time as well. So 8 months out on the road. What did that equate to? Well, that equated to $15,000 in expenditures of diesel, about another $10,000 in cost of campgrounds. And then you can just say, okay, well, what about groceries and, maintenance on the vehicles and all those types of things? Well, we'd had to spend that anyway, so I'm not even taking that into consideration. Yeah, we did spend money to, go into museums and, various places that would charge us to be able to go into those. But those dollars weren't not big dollars, over time. But, you probably look at your major cost was about $25,000. So we didn't even come close to just YouTube revenue alone. And, starting into that, I realized that if we were going to be able to do this and fund the channel properly, we were going to have to be able to reach out and do some other things. So we started doing product reviews. We contacted a number of different product manufacturers to see if we could work into affiliate arrangements. And we did pick up one sponsor who would sponsor one video a month and pay us for that insert. Those are called inserts. And even with those payments, we still didn't come close to the $25,000 just in campground cost and diesel fuel. So it's very expensive to run a channel, a travel channel. For those people that you see who do nothing but just sit at the desk like I'm doing right now and talking, the only thing, the investment they have in is cameras, websites, internet, and those types of things. So, even think about that. I had to pay for internet on the road, just a number of other elements that just continue to add into the cost of being able to operate a channel. And that's just what it takes. Now, the reason we got into I Love RV Life is for that specific reason. We love RV life, and we wanted to be able to share the experience with so many users out there. But for us, it is not a money-making venture. At best, it's a supplemental income to be able to offset some of our costs to be able to do travel. And what I must share with you, you're going to find that that is going to be the case for most of the people in this RV space. I can look at the channels out there, I can see how many views they're getting, and they're fortunate if they make enough money to be able to offset their costs in the long run. And I'll go ahead and share with you, there's some of them out there that have been in this space for 10 years or more, or they do nothing but make YouTube content. In other words, they're putting 2 or 3 videos out a week. They've got a whole production environment. I am it. I am the production environment. I am it 100%. So you're looking at the guy that does the shooting, the guy that does the editing, the guy that works with, all of the advertisers and product manufacturers and, website maintenance and it, So that's, I am your typical YouTuber in the small space. Other people can afford to get staff, and even with staff, you have to pay them something. So you better have a bunch of YouTube views to be able to do that. So that's where we're at. I know we're getting a lot of comments. Jerry, you've sold out. I struggle with that comment. I don't know how we've sold out. You did nothing but travel. Well, yeah, there is a cost for this, and that cost requires some way to be able to offset it, or we can't do it. It's just for us to be able to show spot after spot after spot after week is very, very expensive. So we have to find ways to be able to supplement that. So that's the way we do it. Well, I know this was a little different than what I normally do, but I get a lot of questions and I thought it's time to share. And I hope you've enjoyed this for you who are considering doing it, or just for those of you who are just interested in what it takes for a YouTube creator to be able to create such videos. Thanks so much for watching. Yeah, and of course, I always love RV life.